friends, it's Sarah here. Today I'm going to show you how to do one of the most quintessential summer crafts, the spiral tie-dye. All you need for this activity are some rubber bands or some string, some dye, and that could be like official tie-dye dye that you buy a kit, or it could just be some dye from the dollar store that you get, and then a piece of clothing. And I'd say to choose your piece of clothing, you don't need to go out and buy a white t-shirt or anything like that, because unfortunately, life happens. You or someone in your family or maybe a friend or a neighbor might have a piece of clothing that has become the victim of a grease stain. So that happens to me sometimes because I really like having curries and things with spicy oil, and sometimes that spicy oil will drip onto my sweater. And then sometimes I don't notice it until it's already dried. And then sometimes I put it in the wash and it doesn't come out. And then sometimes I try to add a little bit of stain remover and it ends up kind of bleaching the sweater. And that is exactly what happened with this sweater. If you look here closely, you'll notice there's a stain on it. And hopefully, once we finish tie-dyeing it, that stain will be entirely masked by the beautiful new spiral design that we're going to create. Since it's summertime, I recommend you guys make use of an outdoor space near you. You could do this in a park, you could do this in your backyard or at a friend's house. And I'd recommend that you guys do this activity in the shade. Spending too much time in the sun can be really fun, but it can really wear you down. And even if you are spending your time in the shade, please drink a lot of water. Like, have a really big glass of water before you start. I just had mine. And please also, if you're gonna be in the sun, wear your sunscreen. And even if you're not, it doesn't hurt to throw some on. Yeah, so once that's all taken care of, come back and join me outside and let's do some tie-dye. I have some of my supplies. I have my sweater, which I've dampened for this project. It's not fully wet, but it is a little bit damp. It's gonna help our dye stick better. I have our dye. I opened up the packet. I read the directions. I have some hot water in this tray here, ready to mix my dye in once I've twisted this up. So we're gonna put those over there. I have a spoon to stir the dye. I have some gloves to make sure that my hands don't get stained in this process. I am wearing my apron to make sure that my clothing doesn't get stained in this process. I have a little cup to help me disperse the dye a little easier. And then I have this empty tray, which I am going to put under this crate so that any of the excess dye will drip into the tray. So this is my workstation. How to make all these elastics turn this into a spiral. Let's go. So lay out your sweater. Remember, the reason why I'm doing this is because I have this big stain here that I really want to conceal with this tie-dyeing process. So hopefully this tie-dyeing will give me a chance to wear this sweater again without being embarrassed by my stain. Make sure you have enough elastics. I got some nice long ones. You can actually get some elastics from, if you're buying broccoli at the store or your produce, oftentimes it will come with an elastic band around it. Alternatively, you can also buy elastic bands, but I like to try and buy as little as possible for my projects. Okay, so to begin, you are going to want to pick up both sides with your fingers, and you're going to start to spiral it. The beginning's the most important, so make sure You're pulling both ridges through and getting some deep twists going. Try to get as many folds, remember? Well, I don't know if I've told you that yet, but now I'm reminding you. Try to make as many folds as possible. Because this is a sweatshirt, it's kind of hard to do both sides at once. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my first side, and then we're gonna flip it over and try to make sure the back is also. And you know what? If the back isn't as spiraled, that's okay, because we really just want our spirals to be really prominent on the front. Okay, let's see what it looks like on the back. That's not that bad. We're gonna keep that. Try not to forget which side is your front. So this is my front. What should I put on it to make it known to me? I think I'm just gonna have to remember. Okay, so now that we have our beautiful little spiral all wrapped up, it's time to mix our dye. So this is my boiling water. I'm gonna open my packet of dye that I got from the dollar store. Oh, actually, before we start, I almost forgot. Put your gloves on, please. Wow. To me, this kind of looks like beet juice. I really like beets. Good beet salad. So I'm gonna put these to sides because I'm gonna put them in the garbage after. And now, if you notice, just use my spoon to stir. I have this tray underneath so that, I'll show you. I have them lined up so that it will drip through. Look at that. Okay, let's get going. If you notice, I'm kind of going every other zone just because I want some variety in my tie-dye. And I'm gonna go over it again just to saturate it. Okay, now I'm gonna flip it over and continue on the other side, following the same parts. And I just wanna make sure it kind of goes over. And I'm someone who wants more dye than less dye, so I'm just gonna make sure it's very saturated here. Okay, and then we're gonna wait. We're gonna let this dry in a hot place overnight and let it sit for 24 hours, just dripping into this tray. And once that is complete, we're gonna be able to rinse it out with cold water. So stay tuned. It's a new day. It's been 24 hours and my sweatshirt has been just soaking in all of that dye so that hopefully we have a beautiful lasting spiral tie-dye pattern. I have some new gloves on today and a new outfit, and we're gonna start pulling off our elastics. Let's do it. So my sweater is still a little damp because it is a sweatshirt and it was sopping wet. That's okay. What's more important than having it dry is giving it enough time with the ink on it before we wash it out. Whoa! Okay, I'm really so excited. Let's see what this looks like. Oh, wow! I think that worked, guys. Nice. Okay, cool. So now it's time to rinse. Okay, I'm gonna turn my tap to cold and we're gonna give it a rinse. Before you start rinsing, make sure that you're in a space that is okay to be dirtied. Always ask permission before you use someone's sink. This one is kind of our craft room sink, so it's a safe space to make this happen. If you guys look, you'll see that our water is starting to run clear. It's not as pink or as red as it once was. That means we're getting to the end. So once your water runs entirely clear, you can hang up your sweater somewhere for it to air dry. And after it's dry, you can throw it in the wash. The reason why we're rinsing it in a sink instead of using a washing machine, which you totally could use, is just because sometimes when you use a washing machine, there's the risk of staining it. Also, I'm using a sink because I don't have a washing machine at the library. So I'm using our craft sink. So I'm just going to wring out my sweatshirt. Now, if you're working with a sweatshirt, keep in mind, it's gonna be heavy. It's gonna take some muscle to wring it out. Working with a t-shirt might be easier. Luckily, I'm super strong. Look what I found. It is really the perfect thing. Look at all these little clips. So I'm going to, hopefully they're going to be strong enough. I'm going to put a few of them. And just because this is heavy, I'm going to get the back ones to hold up the arms. The gloves are off. The sweater is hung. It will drip dry here for 24 hours. And then hopefully after that, it'll be nice and dry and I can bring it home to put in the wash. Thank you guys so much for helping me make this. I can't wait to show it to you once it's all dry tomorrow. Yeah, and we'll see if it changes or if it loses any more of its color when I throw it in the washing machine. Okay, folks. So this is what it looks like after drying. Let's take it down. Okay. So the back is still my favorite part. Look at that. All that's left to do is throw it in the wash and see if it changes at all. Stay tuned. Hey guys! So it's a few days later. I've given our beautiful tie-dye sweater a wash. Here's the back. Here's the front. But a word to the wise, here is a striped sock that used to be white and yellow, and now it is pink and yellow. So if you're washing this, well, I guess anything that you've tie-dyed, please, even though we've rinsed it a lot, please wash it on cold, and please wash it with like Black's or by itself first. But thank you. Thanks for making this with me, and I really appreciate you guys tuning in. See you soon.